4am First Fruit. This is a chapter by chapter Bible study series, and we're on Psalms chapter 35. This is David's prayer for victory. This could be possibly a time when he was hunted by Saul. Oppose my opponents, Lord. Fight those who fight me. Take your shields, large and small, and come to my aid. Draw the spear and javelin against my pursuers, and assure me I am your deliverance. David saying that God would say, I am your deliverance. It's pretty funny because when we read about David and Saul, we heard a lot of times when Saul hurled spears at David. It was a laughable amount. And here David is asking, Father, you draw the spear and javelin against my pursuers. Those who intend to take my life be disgraced and humiliated. Let those who plan to harm me be turned back and ashamed. Let them be like chaff in the wind. Chaff refers to the dry, scaly outer covering of grains and seeds that is separated from the edible part during threshing. So the useless part. This is what threshing looks like. And so when they separate it, it goes in the wind. The useless part just blows away, with the angel of the Lord driving them away. This reminds me of Psalms 1. It describes wickedness as ultimately worthless. And in Psalms 1, it compares a righteous person to a wicked person. Basically, if you're like these wicked people, you are useless and easily blown about by the wind from the powers of God. Godly versus ungodly. In verse 9, it says, Then I will rejoice in the Lord. I will delight in his deliverance. All my bones will say, Lord, who is like you, rescuing the poor from one too strong for him, the poor or the needy from one who robs him. The Lord does rescue David, and David does worship the Lord. And it's so excellent. Not only is David being hunted, but he also has a false witness. And unfortunately, these are David's friends. Malicious witnesses come forward. They question me about things I do not know. They repay me evil for good, making me desolate. Yet when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I humbled myself with fasting, and my prayer was genuine. If you remember David and Saul and the relationship with Saul and Jonathan, they were like family to David. I went about mourning as if for my friend or brother. I was bowed down with grief, like one mourning for a mother. This is interesting because we just talked about grief in our last Psalms and how the verse 18, people often read this one for grief. The Lord is near the brokenhearted. He saves those crushed in spirit. And right now in the Psalms, David is crying out for the Lord to help him win this one. He's crushed in the spirit. In 17, he then asks, how long? And in 22, he asks, do not be silent. He is praying out to God. God, this is what is happening to me. Do you see it? Help me, please. How long, Lord? Something interesting about this Psalms is David uses battlefield verbiage. Most of the times, these Psalms that have to do with justice use mainly courtroom verbiage. I love how David is appealing to God in a way that David understands himself. And he also sees God as a divine judge, but also a divine warrior. David is saying, don't let them win, Lord. And at the end, he appeals to God's own glory. In 27, let those who want my vindication shout for joy and be glad. Let them continually say, the Lord be exalted. He takes pleasure in his servants' well-being, and my tongue will proclaim your righteousness, your praise, all day long. Basically, Lord, if you help me do this, people will see your goodness in a servant whom is 100% wanting to follow your ways. That is a good prayer. Thank you for watching this 4am. I'll see you in the next 4am when we cover Psalms chapter 36.